Hello everyone, I hope you all are fine and doing well in your studies. Dear students, in my last lecture I taught you about Stokes' law, and Stokes' law was a relation between viscous force of a viscous fluid and the coefficient of viscosity, radius of the spherical body and the velocity with which the object was moving in that viscous liquid or viscous fluid. We are using here the word viscous fluid. Viscous fluid means anything which can flow. Fluid word we are using for both for liquid as well as for gases. Okay, so students, our today's topic is terminal velocity. Terminal velocity is also related to viscous fluids only. So let us see first diagram. Students, in diagram I have taken one container. In this container I have taken a viscous fluid. You can take glycerin, you can take honey, or you can make any viscous fluid by yourself also by adding external materials in it. Okay, so let us see now the diagram. In diagram I have immersed one spherical body and the variables of spherical body are given there. Students, whenever the spherical body is dipped in viscous fluid, first it will come down with full velocity, but after some time it will acquire a constant velocity and some resistance would be there which will resist the velocity of the spherical body. Now the question is that what kind of force is there which is resisting the movement, which is resisting the acceleration of the body? So that forces are not a single but three forces are acting on the spherical body, and today we are going to study about these three forces, and ultimately we will find one expression for velocity, what we call terminal velocity. So let us see the definition. The constant speed that is freely falling object acquires while falling in viscous fluid. As I told you just now that the body will acquire a constant speed, and that constant speed we have given name terminal velocity. Okay, expression as I told you, the variables, small m is the mass of the object. Which object we have taken? Spherical. Now students, many have this question that why we are taking only spherical body. We are taking only spherical body because it is easy to calculate the volume and all for a spherical body. Okay, so let us take a spherical body which is immersed in a viscous fluid. M is the mass of the object and rho is the density of the object. Students, I have written here two terms. One is rho, one is sigma. Just for pronunciation, rho, sigma. Okay, so m is the mass of the body, rho is the density of the body. Now sigma is also density, but it is not the density of the body, it is the density of the liquid. So here two densities are here, so you need to take care. Okay, it is very important. So rho is the density of object and sigma is the density of liquid. Okay, so what are the various forces which are acting on the object? So you can see here the various forces which are acting on the object. One is weight of the body which is in downward direction. Second is force of buoyancy. You have studied in your lower standards as well that liquid is applying a force in upward direction. We call that buoyancy. Okay, buoyant force. Name is buoyant force, and this whole phenomena is known as buoyancy. Okay, or you can call it force of due to buoyancy also. Next is viscous force. Viscous force we have studied in Stokes' law. Clear? So I am writing here the various forces acting on the body is weight of the body which is in downward direction. So W is equal to mg. But here mass is volume into density into g. So W is equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube rho g. I hope it is clear. Buoyancy means upward force. So that force I am denoting by F1. So F1, it will be equal to the weight, but it is applied by the liquid. So change in these both will be only of one single word, that is here it is rho, density of the body, here it is sigma, density of the object, because buoyancy is also a upward force exerted by liquid, but numerically it is equal to the weight of the object. जितना ऑब्जेक्ट का वेट होगा उतनी ही फोर्स ब्योंसी की वजह से ऊपर की तरफ लगेगी. क्लियर? नाउ थर्ड इज योर विस्कस फोर्स. Students, viscous force we have studied in Stokes law. That is, I'm denoting it by F2, and this is clear to you, 6 pi eta RV. Okay, so what will happen in equilibrium? I told you that whenever you are taking in equilibrium, you need to choose some rules. That if downward direction you are taking negative, then upward direction you have to take positive. So here I have taken upward positive, downward negative. So you can see that F1 and F2 both are in upward direction, so I have taken positive positive, and weight is in downward direction, I have taken it negative. If you will take both negative and this positive, your results will be same. Okay, so put the values equal to 0. In full expression you can see only here is V. V means velocity, and our objective is to calculate terminal velocity. So keep this term here, and both terms I have taken on the other side. With this term negative sign was there, so it is positive now, and on the other hand this term was positive. When it will change its side, then it will get negative. Take the common terms which are common, like 4 by 3 pi r cube g, and rho minus sigma will be inside. Okay, I need to calculate V, so whatever is with V, it will come down. Cancel the term. 2 2s are 4, 2 3s are 6, 3 3s are 9, so it is 2 by 9 r square g rho minus sigma upon eta. That means terminal velocity is inversely proportional to coefficient of viscosity. Means more viscous is the fluid, lesser will be the terminal velocity. Okay, sometimes they ask in exam also that on what factors your terminal velocity depends. So terminal velocity depends on radius, it depends upon density of body, it depends upon density of liquid, but above all it depends upon the coefficient of viscosity. Okay, so students, this is enough for today. Thank you. Have a good day.